Hey there, Toons! Coach Z here with another video. You won't be seeing any action in this one. I just wanted to answer a couple of questions that have been asked me a lot. The first is there a quick way to develop my gags? The simple answer is no. The only way to develop your gags is to use them over and over and over. Yes, there are places where the values are doubled or even tripled, but they usually involve team play, and you don't want to be risking your team just to develop your gags. See my other videos for a more in-depth discussion of that. There are 3 things that you need to develop your gags, and they are: number 1, patience. Number 2, patience. And number 3, patience. Just keep at it and they will develop. But let me give you a few pointers that will make it easier for you so you aren't wasting time. First of all, do not use a high-level gag on a low-level cog. You get no credit for that. Even using a level 2 gag on a level 1 cog gets you nothing. Secondly, the bigger the gap between the level of the gag and the level of the cog, the less likely the gag will hit. In other words, using a level 1 gag on a level 12 cog is not a good idea. When you combine those 2 items, you inevitably get to the third point. To maximize your chances of hitting a cog and getting gag credit, use the same level gag as the level of the cog. This means that if you get a brand new gag, where's the best place to develop that gag? Toontown Central. In fact, I would stay in Toontown Central until your gags were above level 3. That doesn't take that long, Toons. Once your gags are developed to level 4, go to Daisy Gardens or Donald Stock. Use either Barnacle Boulevard or Elm Street. And don't be afraid to use lower-level gags, too. It will save you time from going back to the gag shop. Once you get up your gags to level 5, I would go to the Cellbot headquarters and wander around the courtyard. Just avoid level 6 cogs until you have level 6 gags to fight them with. One other hint, Toon. Fighting cogs during cog invasions doubles the amount of gag experience. Just be careful when they have invasions with high-level cogs. Now, another question regarding gags is this: what are the best gags to choose to develop? Well, let's start at the beginning. Every toon gets throw and squirt, so you have to develop those. Your first choice of gags is between tune-up and sound. In most cases, I would recommend choosing tune-up. Tune-up is one of those gags which every fully developed toon should have, in my opinion. Every high-level toon will end up in a situation where everyone else is hurt except themselves, and it is customary that the unhurt toon tune up the others. If you don't have tune-up, you won't be able to help your teammates in that situation without an extremely well-trained doodle, and even then, a doodle is no substitute for a set of juggling balls. The one exception to this choice is in the case of a 3-gag Uber, which I recommend chooses sound, but that is the subject for a different video. The next gag choice is between lure and drop. In every case, I recommend lure, for many, many reasons. It's the only gag that prevents the cogs from attacking being the primary one. I don't ever want to see a fully developed toon without lure. I'll explain why in a bit. The gag choice after that is between trap and either tune-up or sound, depending on which you did not choose before. In every case, I recommend choosing either tune-up or sound. Not that trap is bad, only that sound or tune-up is more important. The last gag choice should then be between drop and trap. Between these two, it's a toss-up. Drop has a poor hit percentage, but packs a wallop. The hit percentage of drop can be improved with either sound, throw, or squirt being used right before, but does not guarantee it will hit. In addition, drop will not work on lured cogs. Trap, on the other hand, requires lure to work. If the lure works, the trap gets set off and does a tiny bit more damage than drop does. This is the primary reason why you must not forego lure. Trying to develop trap when you don't have lure is difficult. It requires you to use trap only when you are with a group. And this invariably leads to tossing out a trap every time you see someone use lure, despite what it does to the group. There are few things more annoying than a toon who tosses out a trap, then spends round after round after round saying, "Let's use lure! Let's use lure! Let's use lure!" Well, if you hadn't passed up lure before, you would have lure, wouldn't you? And you wouldn't have to beg toons to help you develop your trap. This behavior almost inevitably leads to a tune tossing up banana peels, rakes, and marbles in front of level 10, 11, and 12 cogs whenever somebody does a group lure specifically to keep those cogs from attacking. This leaves the final two tunes with an impossible choice. Do I tune up the rest of the group? Or do I attempt to take out the cog that the freaking selfish tune just had to toss a banana peel in front of? If he chooses tune up, the cogs attack, undoing the work of the tune-up. And if he chooses to take out the cog, the tunes remain hurt and could go sad in a subsequent attack. Please, tunes, don't. Do not, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not take trap if you do not already have lure. If you do, I will sick that peanut pickle pop on you. And nobody wants that. It should be noted, though, that trap seems to increase the likelihood that a lure will work. This can be used to an advantage, but in rather limited situations. This should not, however, be used as an excuse to toss a banana peel in front of a bigwig. Regardless, I don't ever want to see a tune with trap who does not have lure. Ever, ever, ever! Invariably, they see every lure as an opportunity to develop their trap that simply cannot be passed up, and their teammates suffer as a result. Don't do it, tunes! I would rather see a tune without sound, or even without tune-up, than to see one without lure precisely because of trap. So, to summarize, which gag should you leave out? I think it should be either drop or trap, as they both do about the same amount of damage, and can somewhat substitute for each other. If, however, you really want a tune with both trap and drop, leave off sound. Some tunes won't like it that you don't have sound, but with good play, you can often make up for that lack with other gags. If you leave off tune-up, you'd better have a very, very, very well-trained doodle. But whatever you do, do not leave off lure! That's it for this video, tunes. See you next time.